I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff that's like, why did they even put this in this movie? But this movie, though, had an ensemble cast. Lauren Ambrose, Seth Green, Peter Facinelli. A lot of you that watch Supergirl, if you watch the TV show Supergirl, Peter Facinelli is the dude that plays Maxwell Lord on Supergirl. He plays the villain on Supergirl. And he's been in a ton of stuff. He's almost unrecognizable in this role that he plays Mike Bennett. I think that's the name of his character. This total jock, this big muscular jock dude. Basically, Flash Thompson, I guess, basically. If you ever watched a Spider-Man movie or read a Spider-Man comic book, he's that guy. He's the jock, the jock that's also a jerk. That's Peter Facinelli's, or however you pronounce his last name. That's his character in the movie. He dumps Jennifer Love Hewitt pretty early in the movie. In fact, it doesn't even happen on screen. They're just broken up at the beginning of the movie. And then a lot of the plot revolves around their breakup and Ethan Embry trying to get with Jennifer Love Hewitt because I'm not spoiling the movie for you because I'm just telling you the basic thing that's going on in the movie. It's basically a triangle between those three. I don't know if it's much of a triangle, but because Peter Facinelli, or whatever his name is, oh man, I can't. I'm probably butchering his last name. A lot of you, if you listen to this episode, you could probably pronounce it better than me. All I know about Peter Facinelli is he used to be married to Jenny Garth. Jenny Garth that played on 90210, Beverly Hills 90210, and then 90210, the spinoff. He used to be married to her. I don't think they're together anymore, but props to him for being married to her. That's another woman that in the 90s, that was a good-looking woman. And she's not even my type, but I always thought she was pretty, though. But a movie, you know. I remember around this time, I think he was in this movie. Then he was in Idle Hands. That's another good $5 bin movie from back in the day. Idle Hands with Devin. I forget how to pronounce his last name, but dude that's in Final Destination. That's in the first Final Destination. Jessica Alba is in that movie Idle Hands, where the guy cuts his hand off and his hand starts killing everybody. That's a great movie. It's a bad movie too, but it's a good bad movie. So go pick up Idle Hands. If we should learn anything from listening to this episode, this ridiculous episode that I'm recording right now, go pick up Can't Hardly Wait, I Know What You Did Last Summer, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and Idle Hands. If you get those 4 movies, you'll have a pretty good weekend. So order them off Amazon. You probably could buy all those movies for less than $20, honestly. If you got a $20 bill, you probably could buy all 4 of those movies on Amazon, because that'll be a good weekend. Get you some cookies. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to start talking about Can't Hardly Wait for just a second. I got to give a big, huge shout out on this podcast. Not to a person, not to a living being person, but to some new cookies that I've come across. And my best friend Ann Menifee, shout out to Ann, by the way. Ann is still yet to be on my show, even though she keeps saying over and over she's going to be on it. But that'll probably never happen, because I don't think Ann really wants to come on a show for real. But anyway, Ann put me on to these new Oreos that I had seen the picture for them, but I didn't know when they were dropping or coming out. The strawberry shortcake Oreos, dude, man, those are so good. it's my favorite Oreo now. I know I said, and I don't know if I said this in a previous episode or not, but I know the cinnamon bun Oreos have been my favorite. But yeah, strawberry shortcake Oreos, they're better. They're a lot better. They're my new favorite Oreos. Those are the ones I like the most. I know they're at the Walmart here in Enterprise, but you should be able to find them in stores because they should be everywhere by now. But anyway, back to Kent. I just went all over the place. I went from Seth Green to cookies to back to the movie. But yeah, Seth Green plays kind of a wigger or a white dude that tries to act black. Some people are gonna call me racist for saying it that way, but that's what you call him, or you call him a wigger. A wannabe thug or whatever is basically Seth Green's character. And he's only trying to act that way because he thinks it's cool and that it will get him, laid or get him to have sex because he's basically a virgin. He's that nerdy virgin. Well, there's more than one nerdy virgin in this movie, but Seth Green, he plays his part very well. Very hilarious performance. Some of the things he says. He's just a funny guy in general, but yeah. And then there's another character in the movie called William Litcher is the character's name. It's played by Charlie Korsmo. I've seen this guy in other movies or TV shows. He has a familiar face. It plays a little nerd William. But I can't call right offhand what else he's been in. I guess I could Google it and then tell you. Give me a sec. Oh wow. So anyway, through the magic of live recording, I just Googled that guy and I paused it for a second so you didn't even know that I Googled it or that I was gone for a minute. But that guy, no wonder why I recognized him. I kept looking at him. The dude that plays the little nerd William in this movie, you've actually seen him before. He's the same guy that plays Jack in Hook. Remember Hook with Robin Williams, the little kid that plays Robin Williams' son? That's the same guy. I never even picked up on that. But I kept looking at him like, boy, he has a familiar face. But yeah, that's this guy. He plays the same dude. And he also was in Dick Tracy. He's been in a few movies. No wonder he has a familiar face. And it says that he's retired from acting now. He's a lawyer. He's put on some weight too. But haven't we all? I know I put on some weight. I know I probably look unrecognizable to a lot of people. But he still has that face, that you can't even put that on in the $5 bin. Hook, that's probably a $20 movie. Still, even today, and that's over 20 years old. Cause like I said, this kid, if he was like a teenager when this movie came out, he was like a little boy when Hook came out. So Hook is probably almost 25 years old. I don't know exactly how old Hook is. It came out. I know this is supposed to be about Can't Hardly Wait, but I just want to go watch Hook right now. I might go download that or see if I can find my copy of that and watch that tonight. As I'm recording this, it's like it's like almost 3 o'clock in the morning, by the way. But I can make something to eat real quick and watch Hook. I know it's a long ass, might be 6 o'clock in the morning before. But there are a lot of famous stars in this movie that kind of have like bit parts, like Sean Patrick Thomas. I don't know if you remember him, but he was in Barbershop. He played the lead character, or he co-starred in Save the Last Dance. I used to be told, nobody tells me this now, so this is something that people told me in the early 2000s. People used to tell me I kind of resembled Sean Patrick Thomas a little bit. So go ahead and laugh. I know I don't really look like him, but we're probably about the same skin tone, I guess. But yeah, one girl told me this one time that I look like that dude. from Save the Last Dance. I know I really don't though, other than we're both black as the ace of spades. But yeah, he's in this movie, but he's kind of like a background character. My girl, well, she's not my girl, but Melissa Joan Hart, who plays Sabrina the Teenage Witch, who played Clarissa, and Clarissa Explains It All. Sabrina, or Melissa Joan Hart, the great Melissa Joan Hart, who I've actually met, by the way. I met her here in Enterprise, believe it or not. At Enterprise Nursing Home, I met Melissa Joan Hart because and that's a story for a different time. I won't really get into that right now, but I've met her, and I will tell that story at a later date. That's actually a pretty interesting story. A lot of famous people that if you blink, you'll miss the fact that they're in the movie at all. They're not major characters at all, but it's just familiar faces. How I Met Your Mother. He's one of the big stars in that show. There's just a bunch of people in this movie where if you blink, you'll miss them. But maybe that should be a drinking game. Just watch this movie and play this drinking game. Watch this movie, and every time you see somebody famous, that's famous, for something else other than being in this movie, take a drink, because you will get towed up. There's so many to be amazing. They did not X-rated, Can't Hardly Wait. But yeah, this is it's a really, really fun movie. So the bottom line is, I'm going to wrap this up. I do recommend, if you go to Walmart and you see this movie in the $5 bin, or you're at the dollar store, or at Big Lots, or at Fred's, one of these stores, and you see this movie, you know how they set the little movies up at the counter and they sell them for like $5 or $9 or whatever. I would recommend you buying this movie. It's really a fun movie, just to see all the different people in it. It's not particularly overly funny, and it's not very romantic. It's very unrealistic in some parts, I would say. The most realistic thing in the whole movie, I will spoil this part, and this is the only thing I'm going to spoil, and then I'm going to let you watch it, or if you want to watch it, or if you want to go find it and watch it. But the most realistic part in the movie, to me, is when he finally does tell, Ethan Embry finally tells Jennifer Love Hewitt how he feels about her, and she just kind of goes off on him or whatever. But that's not the end of the movie, but that's just what happens towards the end. He goes off on him and kind of tells him off a little bit, and it's a misunderstanding or whatever. But still, though, that was probably like the most realistic part. The part of them ending up together, which that could be the ending, that may or may not be the ending. I'm not gonna give the ending away of the movie, but that, to me, the ending that I won't give away, to me, was probably the most unrealistic part of the whole thing. But yeah, I would recommend that you go watch it. If you can find it. It's almost 20 years old. I can't believe that. I can't believe I'm that damn old, but I guess I am. I don't know. I'm going to wrap this episode up. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing my episodes. Please comment. Give me feedback. You can comment on Spreaker when you listen to the episode. Leave a comment. Share on Facebook. Share with your friends. Let everybody know about Johnny Knows Best. I don't just talk about movies or review movies. I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. And some of the episodes, if you go back and listen to them from the beginning, are pretty good. I'm going to be sharing some of those old episodes today. But that's all. I'll see you next time on the next episode of Johnny Knows Best. I'll holler.